Hey, welcome to Forward Talk. Today I have Yaya with me, new school, new generation parent. My topic's been about accountability, so I want to get his thoughts on the new age students and kids of today. Um, Mr. Ya, so what are your thoughts on kids and their behavior in school today?
Well, like you talking about like your granddaughter in them age group, or
Uh,
like
I'm gonna say from her age group to middle school, high school.
okay, so from fourth grade up.
Right.
So me personally, I me because I kind of I'm a new generation, but I am old school at the same time. So me personally, I just go back to what you used to tell me all the time. Look, I'm your daddy. I'm not your friend. So I feel like a lot of parents they try to be cool. Like, yeah, I'm looked at as the cool dad, or like that's what Yari friends say all the time. Oh, your dad's the cool dad. But also, I don't try to be my kid's friend. I don't. So I feel like that's the problem. Like a lot of these kids, their parents are their friends. So that causes issues within the school because if you don't listen to your parents, you damn sure not gonna listen to the teacher or faculty or the staff of anybody. So I put a lot of the blame on my generation of parenting. They everybody try to be cool, try to be their kids' friends instead of disciplining them. I'm not saying you gotta whoop your kids and all that stuff, but there's ways that you can discipline them and get your point across, and then that way, when they go into the schoolhouse, they have some sense.
So do you think that it starts at home or at school?
I definitely start at home.
So parenting starts at home.
Parenting starts at home.
Correct. So how do you feel when Miss Johnson she calls a parent and say, hey, Miss Williams, I have Mr. Troy here. He's been disrespectful. He's cussing me out. He won't put his phone away. Now, LaTroy mom comes to the school. Now she's cussing out the teacher. She's cussing out the principal because LaTroy wouldn't put his phone up. What are your thoughts on that?
Let's just go back to what I said. If they're not gonna listen to the mama, so that means when he at home, his mama probably telling him, "Hey man, it's time for bed. You got school in the morning. Go ahead and settle down." He probably tell her, "No, man, I'm gonna stay on this phone." Okay, well, 10 more minutes, or she probably let a lot of stuff slide. So that way, whenever he do get some disciplinary actions, or somebody try to tell him what to do, it's go back to "You not my mama. You can't tell me what to do," stuff like that. But also, firsthand, I used to get in trouble a lot. So you used to get a lot of calls, but that was because I was bored. These kids now are disrespectful. See, I feel like it's a difference between kids being bad. You got to tell them to do something 3, 4, 5 times, and then the kid being disrespectful. F you, B, I ain't gonna put up my phone, stuff like this. So, like I said, man, that started at home because I was bad. I wasn't disrespectful. So these kids now, they teeter totter, but they more so disrespectful than bad. But like you said, the parent got to go up there and listen to what the teacher's saying too. You can't always take the kid's side.
Because they're gonna tell you what they want to tell you, so you can
Right.
come up there already on 10 instead of just saying, hey, I'm gonna keep a level head, come up there and see what the teacher's saying and get an understanding of what happened, and then go from there. But that's not the case. 9 times out of 10, they're coming up there already on 10, want to whoop somebody. But like I tell a lot of these kids and their parents, some of these teachers grew up the same way you grew up. Some of these teachers came from a real bad environment. They just chose to choose a better way of living than where they came from.
Right.
So a lot of them is not going to allow you to talk to them and disrespect them like that. So a lot of them will get with you. So they have parents think that because you're educated that you're supposed to be talked to and allowed to talk to like that. So I have a question. So should the parent, if the parent need to get a hold to the kid, should they call the the school, or should they call the kid phone and tell them what they need when they know that their kid is in class?
I think that's me personally. I think that's a age appropriate question. I'm not gonna text my third grader and tell her, "Hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z." But if I have a kid who's a junior, senior in high school, I may text them, tell them to do something. But to me, I think that all depends on the age range. You wasn't texting me when I was in 7th grade saying, "Hey, I need you to do this, this, and this." I'll probably get a call down to the office. "Hey, your dad said, here's a message from your dad." So I feel like that's more of a age. It's an age appropriate. It's an age appropriate when it comes to that.
Good. So I'm gonna ask you this too. This is what I want to see some legislation pushed. Now we have kids that can't read. So I want legislation passed so that if a kid can't read or write in the 1st grade, they shouldn't be promoted unless they have a learning disability. If they got a learning disability and they struggle, then go ahead. But if they don't have that, because what happens is once they get to the 1st grade and go to 2nd grade and they can't read, then they go to 3rd grade, can't read, then they become what? They become discipline problems. Right. So now you're just getting passed along because of your discipline. You don't want to
deal with it. But I get what you're saying about the legislation being passed and stuff like that, but I still feel like there's not things in school from when I was in school, and I only graduated high school 10, 11 years ago. So there's not things implemented in school today that it was when I was in school. For example, your 3rd grade granddaughter, she has no idea what an AR test is. So that goes back to reading comprehension, because you have to read the book and then take a test on it.
Exactly.
There's no such thing as AR tests. And that goes back to, I don't want to say all teachers teach like that, but that goes back to educators teaching just for them to pass the STAR test or whatever. So if you put things back in place like AR tests, like me, for example, how many books did I read in the 2nd grade?
I know you averaged about 300 books a school year.
So
throughout school, 300 books a school year, that's a lot of books. And there wasn't no little books.
Right.
It was big book, thick books. I remember times where you would fall asleep with your water bottle that you put on your bicycle, and you would go to sleep reading, and then you would wake up and still continue reading where you left off at. Most people can't remember when they fall asleep to where they left off at, but that was good.
So that's just what I'm saying. There's nothing like when I was coming up, that was like a big deal. Like, oh, you got how many? You got 200 AR points? Nah, I need to. It was a competition for us at all times. So I feel like if they have AR parties, AR tests, stuff like that, then maybe they could help with reading comprehension.
I think that you're spot on with that, because now you're reading to understand what you're reading.
Exactly.
So when you read to understand what you're reading and you're having a competition, that helps you.
Yeah. So maybe that's something that they can bring back, because I don't even know when they went away with it.
I don't even know when they went away with it either. But it's not a lot of teaching going on. Like you said, a lot of things is being taught towards the test. So, and that's where a lot of issues come, because kids get bored. It's the same thing. Yeah. And I'm against block schedules. You know how y'all used to have the A-Day, B-Day. Most of the time, what they're saying is, hey, this is getting you ready for college. I ain't necessarily getting you ready for college, because in some classes you might not see the professor, but at the beginning of the semester and at the end of the semester. Mm-hmm. So that's not really getting you ready for college. And then what you always say is, when you go daily, you retain the information. When you go every other day, you're not retaining the information.
Right. Just like,
so I agree with
you. I might go to your class too. It might be a B-Day schedule. It might be a B week. I come and see you. You my chemistry teacher. I see you Tuesday and Thursday. I get back in class Monday, and you like, okay, guys, remember what we talked about Thursday? No, I don't remember what we talked about Thursday. Like, I took notes and all that stuff, but I haven't seen you for like 4 business days. You know what I mean? So the block schedule. See, when I was in school, you really wasn't trying to hear the problems that it was giving us. But now you see it because you're working with these students firsthand. So now you see like the block schedule. That's not.
I wasn't really a fan of it when you was in school because it just after a kid, adult, no matter what, after 10 or 15 minutes, if it's not interesting, your attention
span
is lost.
Definitely.
So, and we just got to do a better job of getting better. And today's topic, accountability. Today's society, new generation parent versus old parent. So let me ask you this: a lot of times you probably thought I was really being hard on you at some point, but I know now you probably look back and say, "Well, shit, man, my dad was he was on to something at that time when you thought I was being an asshole or just being just straight up mean because you told me that one time before you were mean when we was coming up. I wasn't being mean. I just wanted y'all to have structure and be accountable for your actions. So with me being on you like it is, you did end up graduating from high school, right? Mm-hmm. You graduated from college, right?
Right.
So that's something no one can take from you. Even though you start force you to go to school, which is not true. But that's another note. But can you look back on me being on you back then versus now?
Yeah, because like you said, because when I got in trouble in school, it was because I was bored. Like my teachers would say, he does bad things, but he's not a bad kid. He's just bored. So if you probably wasn't on me like that in school, all of that would have just went to the wayside. To be honest with you, because I just, like you said, kids lose focus and all that stuff. It was just, and I had great grades. My grades was good. Let's not get that confused. My grades was top tier, but it's just, I don't know. So yeah, I can't say that you being hard on me or whatever about my education that's did pan out and help me in the long run. But nowadays, these, my generation kids, my generation of parenting, they don't even know their kids' grades. They don't even know when they get report cards sent home.
You're right about that.
Now they email you the report card. They don't even check the emails. I know what my daughter making. I know if she need help in math, I can get her a math tutor. I know, hey, you need to pick your grade up in history or whatever. But now they just like, they don't even ask the kid, hey, how was school today? What did you do? What did you learn in school?
Nothing. So they can smoke a blunt with their kid.
They can do that.
Drink with their kid.
Yeah.
So what would your message be for the young generation that's your age?
Man, just be more involved and not just with sports. Right?
Thank you.
Not just with sports. Not just putting your son in football year round. Not just putting your daughter in volleyball, track, whatever. But just be more involved, like, just with their life. Like, be nosy. Check their age. My daughter's about to be 10, so, hey, let me see what you're looking at. Is this TikTok? Is this kid approved? Oh, no. Take that off your phone. Just be, hey, how was school? How was your day? How's life? Like, just ask them questions. Like, don't just go and pick them up from school. They go in their room. You go in your room. You feed them, and then y'all do it all over again the next day. Like, actually engage in conversations with your kids, so that way you can, if your kid is struggling in school, then you will know why. You know what I mean? If you asking questions, you can't just look at their grades and be like, he's being a dumbass. He ain't doing his work and all that stuff. Your kid may be going through it, and you ain't even know because you ain't even ask them how was their day today. So just be more involved. Just ask more questions. Because the kid will appreciate it in the long run. The kid will be like, man, my daddy was asking me, like, how was my day? Like,
that carries a long way.
Yeah, it do. So just be more involved, ask more questions, stay in your kid's business. I'm not saying, like, intrude on them or whatever, but just, be more involved outside of sports.
Thank you for joining me today. Little Forward and Big Forward on today's topic of Forward Talk. And by the way, don't forget to hit that like button at the bottom and that subscribe button. And also share this content with your friends. Very good content today. Thank you, Little Forward.
Got it.